It's not here. Oh, we'll do without doing one for now. Is this the right microphone? Yeah. Okay, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. What did you do? We're changing room setups this week because people complained last week that the audio from the bigger room was pretty bad. So we're all cramped up in a small room right now. We have Damien, Boris, Yana, Lubo, Pavel, George, and myself. So let's get started with a quick update since the last couple of weeks, and then we'll move on to questions and discussions and comments. So George, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everybody. So, fancy camera. So I have been mostly working on our load generation tool, the JitsiHammer, to implement support for stream simulcast. We did that by implementing support for raw art pickup file streaming. So we capture, the idea is to capture decrypted packet captures from when doing simulcast, and then the hammer will stream those captures, those simulcast enabled packet captures, and and then we're going to do some performance evaluation on the bridge, how it behaves. What are the benefits of simulcast? How bandwidth usage is changing with simulcast and without simulcast, and yeah, that's what I have to share.
Okay, thanks, George. Damien, would you like to go next? Just everyone, there's video quality is bad. There's RTCP termination is not enabled, so one of the receivers must have pretty bad download. This was one of the issues that will be solved as soon as we enable simulcast and RTCP termination. Until now, poor connections spoil it for everyone, so we all gotta suck it up. Yeah, your turn.
The change from the last community call is that we updated Jitsi. It's currently using the library.
The branch work is interesting, the PR work.
Yeah, as we move to creating PRs before merging to master, I'm currently working on enabling auto testing for every PR, and which will report back to the PR. So, and the PRs will be tested before merged.
Right. So hopefully, actually, Aaron is not here, but we have we're on the verge of creating a stable build line. We have all the components where basically only builds that have passed the test will qualify. And as part of that whole effort, we, as you know, moved to mandatory PRs for everyone, including developers. And that's where Damien's work is plugging in. So every PR will be tested and the results will be available before it's merged, including PRs from developers. Anything else? Okay. Boris.
So not many updates here. We found a bug that we introduced a couple of months ago, which could be responsible for the bad quality right now. It's now fixed. It was just a failure to enable something. The absent time engine. Other than that, I've been working on the first and very simple version of what we call adaptive simulcast, which is simply disables the HD layer if there is one. So that's in the works, should be available in 1 or 2 weeks.
Right. So again, just to be clear, this is only the first part of the adaptive simulcast work. Sort of works like circuit breakers. Hopefully that will be only temporary, and the reason we're doing it is because we don't want to delay the simulcast deployment anymore. As you know, it's for there is finished. We'll talk a little bit about our last improvements there. But again, we found out that when on a simulcast-enabled bridge, basically with RTCP termination turned on, every sender maximizes their quality, and some receivers cannot handle an HD layer, even a single HD layer, and are just basically nuked out of the conference. So we want to be able to have that circuit breaker for these people. It's only unidirectional for the time being. That is, it's only going to trip down, remove the layer, and never ramp up again. But again, this is just a temporary step, and we're going to start implementing ramp up right after that using either RTX or unrendered SSRCs or FEC or something like that. Yana?
So I have a few things in progress right now. One of the things I've been working on is the resizing issues in the user interface. Me, Jitsi, I have fixed some issues there, but I have one last thing that remains. I have also added some tests about these things because we have been having those resizing issues when we have big conferences for a long time. Other than that, I've been working on some UI look and feel improvements, but it's still work in progress. It hasn't been committed yet. It will be soon, maybe this week, at the end of next week. And I've been also working on the user interface for Last 10 and Adaptive Last 10. We are going to have some improvements there so that it could be more user-friendly and more comprehensive for users what's happening when Last 10 changes and adapts to the boundary and the current link. So that's for me.
I'm sorry, did you talk about the interface improvements?
Yes.
Okay. Hugo?
So not much for me.
Yeah.
I worked on improving simulcast, namely the switching between the lower quality and higher quality, and that had to do with because we're merging low and high quality RTB streams into a single stream. We had to take care of the RTB timestamps in hopefully a more accurate way so that switching can happen seemingly like seamlessly and faster. Hopefully this is not the last, just the latest improvement, because we still seem to have some issues which I don't think are related to timestamps, but
What do you mean?
So we have this thing where the thumbnail image kind of gets jumbled, and as if the video thinks that it's a higher resolution than it is, and that's usually what a decoder will do when it's confused about the resolution, and then the image gets scrambled or something. But we had it for a very long time. So the other thing, which is minor, we are working on statistics from the video bridge. We have some issues reported for them, so we made a small improvement, which is still not going to push, but it's going to go for a review as well. And yeah, that's me.
What did you, the thing with the timestamps, did you explain it? Okay. Well, if there are questions about this, you guys will let us know. And how long?
So recently we added health checks, which are sent from JitsiCommunityCall to the video bridge so that we can detect files faster, because before that we were only detected in JitsiCommunityCall. We only detected bridge when it's broken when we failed to allocate some channels. So it could be that the bridge is broken for even a few minutes and we don't know about that. But now we've verified and we start the conference. We have check file. And also recently Ivan has fixed finally broken XMPP authentication in JitsiCommunity, which was reported on the list. So if you have any issues with that, let us know, but it should work.
Constance?
About Constance, nothing.
Well, the changes in year reporting that we did.
Haven't changed anything yet.
So we were thinking of trying to be a little bit more fine-grained about how we report failures to CoStats, but it turns out that the main thing that currently gets misreported is the ICE failures, and we don't have that right now as a report mechanism in CoStats. Also, did you do the reports of ICE failures in the bridge already, or?
No, it's still working.
Okay, we're planning on implementing a mechanism in the bridge that will allow it to report ICE failures back to the focus, so that the focus can notify endpoints. That might be actually on the last W3C meeting. There was consensus that this bug where the controlled agent in a nice, George, are you okay?
Everything is good.
So on the last meeting, there was this consensus that controlled agents that do not report transition states to failed, that will be fixed, and browsers would start. So currently the whole problem was coming from the fact that there's no mechanism in Chrome to report unended candidates for the remote site, which basically makes it impossible for it to declare failure. And all this is being changed. This is going to be changed in WebRTC API, and but we don't know when that's going to happen. So we're still going to implement notifications in the bridge reporting. Hopefully by then we'll be able to report it in CoStats as well. This would, for starters, this would only work on XMPP. We'd need to finish the HTTP push mechanism. There's someone who needs to mute. Who's that? Karthik, could you? I just muted. Okay. Could that be the bug that? Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, this whole ICE failure thing would have to wait for support for push notifications over HTTP before it can also work in REST. Maybe Brian can share if there has been any progress on that.
Unfortunately, I did see Luo's comments that looks on the right track. So nothing blocking me at this point. Other than
It's not unfortunate.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So well, looking forward to seeing anything there. And that's pretty much all from us. I can't think of anything else. Any questions, comments?
I know.
By the way, too, I have some news from my side. I mean, I have some commits on mutes and mutes, video mutes and mutes. It turned out that we have some problems in some corner cases, so they should be fixed now, and that should work.
That's perfect. Thanks, Jitsi.
And just to answer Karthik's question, because I just saw it, we're not doing circuit breakers. We're doing something like a circuit breaker that only disables the HD layer if simulcast is used. That's all.
As in, we're not doing the RTP specification for circuit breakers. I would still claim that we are doing circuit breakers, just not the Colin Perkins and Barun ones. We have a long contention point there. Right, any questions, comments?
Yeah, I do have something for libjitsi.
Yeah, go ahead. Hi, Ingo.
Hi. There's the pull request from Etienne about the encryption reworking, and I was wondering if anybody else has an input on dropping F8.
What's F8?
It's a mode of AES that's defined in RFC 3711 SRTP. It's an optional mode that, according to Etienne, is mostly used in UMTS. But
I can jump in. It's Etienne. Hi.
Hi.
No, it's just written in the RFC 1311 that it's for UMTS, and I don't know if there is user for this mode. And it's a really bizarre mode, and it's more work to rework, to make my rework if we keep it. So if there is no user at all of this mode, it's easier for me to drop it.
Well, Ingo, I'd like to look at it. I know that there has been discussions about it and that there are PRs, but I just never had the time to, and so much fun looking into it, yes, but I'm sorry.
Can you just explain a little bit why it implies more work to support it?
Yeah, no, it's not a lot more work. Just if there is no user at all, I prefer to drop it. But I can work with it and keep it. But it's if it's unused, I mean.
So what is the extra work around it?
It's totally different than counter mode, and I'm just changing how it's done. I'm instead of currently there's multiple implementation for AES, just for the block computation, and it's a bit inefficient. It would be much faster to work at a packet level. So you give a whole packet to OpenSSL, and it uncipher and decipher it.
Yeah, so you wanna drag the whole counter into the native implementation? Is that what you wanna do?
I don't understand what you say.
Oh.
What you say?
He asked if you want to drive the whole counter into the native implementation. Is this what you're trying to do?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just the you just have a special value for the initial counter, but after that it's just a counter. You increment it.
And how much of a speed up is it?
I benchmarked it. It's 6 times faster. For this part of the code, it does not make the whole JitsiCommunityCall video bridge 6 times faster. But all the encryption process disappear from perf Java top. It's a tool to watch in real time what like top, but for Java function. And you see now it's other part of code where they are synchronized and stuff like that are the bottleneck, but no more OpenSSL. And yeah, we can use different libs. We can use OpenSSL, but if Java implements good counter mode, we can use that in the future also.
Yeah, so are you and Ingo the only parties who are interested in changing SRTP? Because when I was initially doing the OpenSSL and Java AES thingy, I saw the counter, but this code wasn't mine. SRTP was, I don't know, was the guy from ZRTP involved in the development there, or?
Werner?
Yeah.
I don't
It's
hear you well.
it's really difficult to understand you, Lubomir.
So have you checked with all interested parties in this SRTP code? Because when I developed the OpenSSL and AES thingy, I saw the counter, but I didn't want to drive it into the native code because then I would have to like do the other SRTP things. And are you the only guys who own the code?
Like Werner Dittmann was contributing to that, and that's probably because the code is old. That's why we used ECB and implemented counter mode on our own. Counter mode only came in with Java 1.6, so that's a reason that we had the ECB, and it makes sense to actually directly call counter mode natively and in Java. And the F8 thing, I really have no real opinion about it. The thing is, it's specified in SDS as one of the 3 modes, but I don't really think that anybody's using it.
Yeah, it's not mandatory anywhere. It's optional in RFC 1311, and yeah, that's all.
And so, Etienne, you're looking at this from the context of the bridge, is that correct?
Yes, I'm not using Jitsi or building Jitsi. That's why I'm asking you if it's okay to drop it.
So I guess it will be good to check that after we move the counter, things like ZRDP still work or SDS. But given all the other info so far, obviously pending Lubu wanted to look at it, but pending a review from him, I'm personally okay with proceeding with that.
Okay.
So as soon as Lubu looks into the code, he'll let you guys know if he sees any problems with it.
I will look in the browser like Firefox and Chrome if it's implemented, because I think the negotiation part is implemented, but not the cipher part. It's just there to say, yeah, I know this cipher, but I don't want to accept it.
Yeah, so the main thing is, okay, the video bridge, we can make sure that it works. It's just that JITS doesn't get broken because of...
Yeah, I totally understand.
No, Jitsi won't get broken if we remove F8. It's just like in SDS, it's one of 3 modes that we.
It's not only about F8. It's also about moving the counter to OpenSSL. Personally, I think that's riskier in terms of breaking it.
And we don't have OpenSSL like everywhere, so
yeah, but so we need to keep the Java code, obviously.
I also
that is present everywhere now, except, is there any distro left that uses Java 1.6 or even older than 1.6?
No, I think we sacrificed that.
So we can use the counter mode directly in Java as well.
Cool.
Yeah, but it's Java GCE counter mode is slower than our implementation.
No, of course. The point that Ingo was making is that our current existing implementation is. Oh wait, you mean our existing implementation is faster than the Java one?
Yeah, yes. I'm wondering about that as well. But if our own implementation actually is faster, then our current implementation is crappy as far as I can tell, and we could make it even faster then. Because like now, currently we produce the cipher stream, and afterwards we're XORing it with the actual data. But we can do that even faster if we combine the loop of XORing the stuff with producing the cipher stream.
Right. Well, I don't know if Etienne would necessarily be have the time to do all that. So Etienne, that's up to you. But the whole point is that if we move the counter implementation into OpenSSL, we have to make sure that if and whenever OpenSSL is not available, then we fall back to our existing implementation.
Yes. I've already done that. It's just not well formatted, and I have to rework some stuff. But the idea is just to have a counter implementation and have multiple one instead of having just block AES block implementation and have multiple ones. So I will have one OpenSSL counter implementation, one Java counter implementation, the current one, and we can add GCE counter implementation. I've just sent you the AES test repo that I sent to the mailing list, and with some bench. I've sent it like 1 week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know.
Okay. Well, really sorry for the delay, and thanks for bringing it up. Also, thanks for the effort, both you and Ringo.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, we'll let you know as soon as Google has made his review.
Yeah, and also there's still some mixed, no, not mixed end of line, but Windows end of line in libjitsi.
Yeah, I'll look at those later.
Yeah.
Another question. At some point, ICE4J became a dependency of libjitsi. Why is that necessary?
It's not really necessary. I think it only uses 2 constants or something like that.
It became a bit more because the packet logging service is, I think, using it now as well. But it's used in the RTP connectors and whatever, and if we could, and sockets and so on. But if we could remove that, it would really help getting libjitsi or a new version of libjitsi back into Jitsi.
Why?
Because the dependency on ICE4J makes starting up OSGI or real OSGI really difficult. We need to move ICE4J in the boot up process before libjitsi. And to move ICE4J before libjitsi, that also requires Gine SDP. And Gine SDP on itself has another bunch of dependencies, so it's just really difficult. I've already been working on that for half a day and couldn't find a solution.
Actually, you could completely cut the dependency for Gine SDP from ICE because it's used only for the testing for the examples. So I think if we need to cut something, that maybe would be easier to do there.
You can. Gine can be dropped from ICE.
Yeah.
That's not just in the tests.
Well, it's really not used for anything.
Let me search where it's used. Oh, and in the attribute thing, there's a whole block of chain stuff in there somewhere.
Okay, well, let's look for that after the call, but we could potentially get rid of that because yeah. So what's on our site? What is why did we need ICE4J to be part of a?
Some time ago, it was only using the constants for the RTP and RTP components. I thought about removing it, but didn't. And then Asyngu says maybe more stuff prepped up there, but it's nothing.
Did I do something with the sockets in the ICE4J and libjitsi?
Yeah, there's something with sockets that at least import stuff. I'm not sure, but where it's used. But yeah, it's just making problems, and I couldn't investigate it too deep so far how to remove it.
So, but Ingo, you do confirm that if we just remove the Jane dependency for ice4j, then that would also be a solution?
Probably, but I don't think that's easily possible.
Yeah, I'll have a look right after this, and because again, we shouldn't need it anywhere.
And why is this a problem for Jitsi suddenly? Because ice4j has been a dependency of libjitsi for a long time.
For libjitsi or for Jitsi?
For libjitsi.
Not that long.
At least 1 year.
No.
Okay. Then I'm missing something. Sorry.
That's been about 4 months.
Okay.
And can you repeat the thing with the loading? What exactly is the issue there?
You need to load ice4j before libjitsi, so it can be resolved by Felix. And to resolve ice4j, it needs to resolve Jine, and Jine needs to resolve to a whole shitload of stuff.
And?
Which isn't really available.
Okay.
It's probably solvable, but it's quite a lot of work.
Okay, understood. Thanks for bringing this up. I'll look at it and I'll touch base with you later on. Okay, thanks, Ingo and Etienne. Anyone else wants to raise anything?
Yeah, this is regarding the call stats report error API. So we'll be adding the support for ICE failure, so you can report it. And also we'll be adding a support for signaling errors, which also you can report it.
I'm sorry, could you speak a little bit slower, because I didn't understand what you were saying.
Yeah, so we'll be adding the support for ICE failure in the report error API, which you were talking earlier about.
Oh, okay. Karthik, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay, because your name suddenly disappeared around there. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll be adding a support for ICE failures and also the signaling errors, which you can integrate with the Jitsi.
Okay, all right.
And I also heard Livermore talk about the video bridge statistics. So when can I expect to see it on call stats?
No, that's actually the statistics that are already available were causing issues because they sometimes block and don't work. It sounds like actually there are multiple issues underlying there. We still don't have the per call statistics started. The call statistics started. At some point, we were hoping that maybe Chrome would do its job and simply report what it gets from RTP. That doesn't seem to be happening. So I don't know. I agree it's important and it would help, but right now I can't even tell you an ETA because everyone is pretty flooded, and I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's on our radar, so yeah, you can keep pinging us, and
yeah,
and one day hopefully we'll manage to squeeze it in.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, this is Mark Laporte. Can you hear me?
No.
You can't hear me?
No, not at all.
Is this better?
It actually is better. Okay, so that actually just justified me making that same joke over and over again.
Okay, so Mark here. I'm gonna give you an update on the Bootstrap migration.
I was wondering lately, yeah, please do. I was wondering what's up with you guys.
Okay, so so we have the demo site running. We're waiting for some feedback. We only have one bug left, but everything else we fixed.
Where's the site?
Yeah, let me give you the link. I put it in the chat earlier, but I'm going to repeat it. So this is the ticket here.
Okay.
And next, I'll give you the test room. So this test room is updated like several times a day from trunk with our patches.
Okay. Let's see. So you think you're getting closer to?
Yeah, to me, it's a lot better than before. Of course, it's not a full visual revamp, but it's now usable on a mobile device. So yes, I would say just give us just have some people test it and confirm everything's good, and then we should merge.
So meet evoludata.com on 8443 test room is something that runs Bootstrap.
Yes.
Okay, it actually looks exactly the same, which I think is a good thing. The main difference is if you run it on a mobile, is what we continue, supposedly. So, yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. Because it's the same. I have a question. Do you guys use the new branch, or have you made this switch?
So, sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, we actually switched to libjitsi Meet, and now all of MeetJitsi is built on top of libjitsi Meet. Have you switched to that branch as well?
I'm not sure. I think we're merging stuff from master.
Yeah, latest master. Like if you've merged anywhere in the past month, I think.
Yeah.
We should be good. Oh, cool.
Yeah, basically we merge every week or so.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool, guys. What are you just posting here?
So that's the list of commits, and you'll see the merges.
All right. Great. Thanks for the update, Mark.
Okay, and I got a second update as well. On the OpenFire meetings project, we started to work on remote control. So the use case is to be able to control someone else's desktop and to share the remote control, basically. So not just seeing the desktop, but also being able to control the mouse and keyboard.
Are you guys doing that with a Chrome plugin?
Yes.
That sounds really interesting. Yep. So were you going to ask something?
So here's maybe a related commit, and we're soon gonna have something, you know, in that people can demo. But basically, work is ongoing. I would say within a week or two, we should have something to show. I'm working with Dele on that.
That's really cool. And so you guys are doing this for off-meet and not for Jitsi Meet.
Well, that's the thing. So I wrote to you. Maybe you didn't see the email to see if this should be in Jitsi Meet.
Yeah, we're totally interested. I think I actually started responding. So if you haven't heard from me, then that mail probably got lost in that folder. But we would absolutely love to have that. And off-meet, if I understand correctly, merges stuff from Jitsi Meet periodically. Is that correct?
Well, actually, it's an old version now, but we need to get it up to date. But for now, it's still old. It's several months old, sadly.
Yeah, that is sad. Specifically because I'm not sure why work was necessary, but yeah, we're absolutely interested in having that. Totally.
Okay, super. So I'll keep you posted.
Thinking that it might be worth thinking about merging the desktop streamer. Does that work like a Chrome extension, or is it a different sort of plugin?
Yeah, it's a Chrome extension, and there's something that installs on the client. So for now, it's only on Windows, but it'll be Windows, Linux, and Mac.
So I'm thinking that there might be a case for having this as part of the desktop streamer, or at least having a combined version. There's no point in having people install multiple plugins.
I agree.
I assume that people might want to sometimes have deployments for streaming that don't necessarily allow for remote control. But we can keep a separate version for that. People who want both would probably all prefer to have a single extension installed. So yeah, this is actually really, really interesting, Mark. So if you want to bring it in here, that'll be very, very welcome.
Super. So as soon as it works, we're gonna like stabilize it a bit, and then probably, hopefully in 2 weeks, I'll have some more news for you.
Perfect. And what sort of signaling are you using to exchange the events and everything?
That's all the stuff. That's an open fire.
That is an open what?
Oh, it's part of the open fire meetings stuff.
So it's something proprietary?
No. It's all, well, I mean, it's open source, but.
No, I mean proprietary as in it's specific. It's not a standard or anything. You guys are not using KPML or something like that.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's the easier problem to solve anyway. Although when we did desktop remote control in Jitsi, we found out there are a few cases that are tricky to handle across operating systems, such as some of the key events, like some of the internationalized letters, accents, backspaces, that sort of stuff. So I don't know if getting the input from Chrome is going to make these easier or just unhandleable. It'll be curious to see. But I think whatever we have, it will still be of interest to people. So.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, great. Thanks very much for the update, Mark.
All right, thanks.
Anything else from anyone?
Yeah. The update of Bouncy Castle.
We need to test it, right, with Video Bridge?
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared to. I know that you want to Bouncy Castle.
But from what I understand, he is testing with the Video Bridge.
Yeah, I'm only sending you patch that are on my production system. So it might still have bug, but I'm not sending wild patch. Just please test and yeah.
So what does the update fix? Why would we be compelled to upgrade?
No, there is no problem to stay on this version. It's just there is a CVE fix in the latest Bouncy Castle that specifically target DTLS. So yeah, it's good practice.
What
CVE?
There was something else as well with the DTLS negotiation. I think we're using a custom version right now that uses patches on George's repo that aren't necessary anymore.
Yes, and that part is fixed.
So it's only this vulnerability that sounds of interest. Like if they imported our patch, it would still not compel me at least to upgrade because we'd have to test like the whole thing. But if it's the vulnerability, then yeah, guys.
I'm not the only one. There was another guy in the same tier that said he tested the video bridge also.
Yeah, the nickname is Mundane. I'm not sure about the real name right now.
Yeah.
Paul Gregoire, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So let me take a note on that one.
And Pickle J, whoever that is.
Oh, that's Pickle J. Okay, so this is Bouncy Castle update. Okay, we actually have a planning session for